So I went vegan in September of 2015, which was 18 months or 1.5 years ago. In this video, I kind of wanted to just discuss my experience and what I've learned on my journey so far. So I'm not going to go into why I went vegan in this video because I already made a whole video about that. So you can click there and watch that video if you want to know why I went vegan. So being vegan means that you don't eat any animal products. It means you don't eat any meats, any dairy, so that includes like milks, cheeses, butters, as well as you don't eat any eggs and fish. When I first went vegan, let's talk about the benefits. First off, probably the most obvious one is I've lost weight pretty easily. I lost about 15 pounds since I've been vegan with no real effort at all. Like, it's not like I'm cutting calories, I'm not monitoring my food, I'm not counting calories, I'm not exercising in excess. I've literally just been doing the exact same thing I normally do. Now, 15 pounds might not sound like a lot, but I'm not really a big person to begin with. And like I said, I wasn't doing anything to actually lose the weight. I just lost it. Yes, my skin has gotten better. It's cleared up quite a bit. I'm not acne free. I love to be like, yes, going vegan is the cure to all of your acne. Unfortunately, there are a lot of other plays in acne, but my skin has significantly cleared up in terms of breakouts. So like I never get breakouts anymore where I'll have like a cluster of zits that'll kind of pop up here and there. Another thing is my hair has been a lot nicer. I mean, again, that could have been like partially due to the fact that I'm not really dyeing it as much anymore because I've grown a lot of it out. So I will give that a little bit of credit, but I do notice it feels a lot healthier. I've become way more compassionate toward animals. Like, I love animals and I feel so much love and warmth and compassion toward animals now that I never felt like that strongly before. Like, I feel like everybody in some sort loves animals in a sense of, or like appreciates them, but when you go vegan, I don't know, man, it's just like something switches, something really crazy happens to your brain that you just see animals in a whole other light. Health, digestion, oh my gosh, my digestion has proved a lot. Like, I've always been someone who's had stomach problems, who has bloating, bowel-ish issues, gas. I'm just telling you guys, I fart a lot. Used to. At first, it's tough. I have friends that do go vegan, and at first, it is tricky because when you increase your vegetables and your fruits in your diet, you get a lot more gassier. You get a lot more like gurgles. Stuff is just like, your body's like, oh my God, how am I processing all this? It takes, I would say, a solid 6 months. A solid 6 months that I kind of was like, ooh, all these vegetables, all this vegan diet, don't really know how my body's processing it yet. But then after about 6 months, I started digesting fruits and vegetables so much better. All of that energy kind of in turn leads to you just feeling really awesome. Like, you just feel great about eating. I don't know, like, I just don't feel as bloated or lethargic from my foods anymore, which is so awesome. Some of the pitfalls or downfalls of going vegan, or some of the things that I'm still working out. It's taken some time to kind of balance out the vegan lifestyle and energy levels. I will admit, when I first started going vegan, I didn't know how to eat vegan. I ate a lot of carbs. I ended up eating lots of like pastas and breads and rice and things because I'm like, I need food, I need calories, I'm hungry, and I don't know quite how to cook or prepare or what kinds of meals there are available. Even when I'm on my travels, I do eat a more carb heavy lifestyle. Like, and I'm meaning like redefined carbs, and that's not healthier. Like, just because you're vegan doesn't necessarily mean you are the healthiest person. You still have to eat healthy things. You can be a very unhealthy vegan. There's a lot of vegan junk food. There's a lot of other vegan like items that you can eat that'll fill you up and give you calories that are not, that doesn't equal a healthy lifestyle. I love to tell you that I'm like, oh my God, energetic all the time, but if I am not getting the proper nutrients, I do feel a bit more tired or a bit more lethargic. Not lethargic, but just like a little less energetic as I could be. I haven't been as athletic this year. It's been one of my least physical activity year. Like, I have not been to the gym a lot at all. I haven't really been working out, so I've lost muscle and I've lost and I just have lost that rhythm of the energy that I would get from exercise. Another thing is that I'm eating a lot of meals. One of the things is I noticed that I get hungrier sooner, so it's better to eat like a couple meals throughout the day, because it's hard to eat a gigantic vegan meal and be satisfied. Like you could with a non-vegan meal. Like you can eat like 2 big meals of non-vegan a day and it will sustain you throughout the day. It's very hard to do that as a vegan because a lot of it's fruits or vegetables, which when you can eat a huge amount, you're not getting a ton of calories from it. So you kind of become more of like a grazer, which does make sense because cows are vegan and they just graze all day long. They just eat all day long. So that's kind of what you become. You end up snacking or wanting to eat a lot of meals throughout the day to just kind of make up for the same amount of calories that you'd have as a normal meat eater. Traveling as a vegan is trickier than traveling as a non-vegan. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna tell you it's the most easiest thing in the world. There are challenges, but it's definitely not impossible. It's actually not nearly as hard as I thought it would be. I actually made, again, a whole video about traveling tips as a vegan, what I do, and not just being a vegan. So if you have allergies or food intolerances, or are a vegan and you're wondering some tips on how to travel, watch this video right there. I talk all about it. It has been a challenge, and I do miss out on like local foods when I am traveling, which is, it sucks because I wish that all cultures had vegan options, but they don't. So that's, I knew it was gonna be hard at first. I mean, giving up a lot of food groups. Anytime you do any diet or any sort of restriction or allergy or lifestyle change where you are cutting foods out of your everyday life that you would normally have, the beginning is going to be the worst part. It's the toughest to transition because your body is naturally attuned to craving those foods. It wants those foods, it's used to those foods. So the first couple weeks of any change is always the hardest. So the first month to month and a half was the most difficult for me, mainly because my favorite food is sushi. I love sushi, and I didn't know how I would be able to give up fish because I love fish. So originally I thought, well, maybe I can do this without giving up fish. And in that first couple, like the first month and a half, I actually occasionally had fish here and there, whereas I went kind of cold turkey with everything else. So I went cold turkey with meats, I went cold turkey with eggs. Fish, I was like, I can't just give up my fish. So the funny thing with fish is, after I'd given up all the other products, I actually started losing the taste for fish. So when I would occasionally have fish, I wasn't enjoying it as much. I wasn't savoring it. It tasted weird to me. Like, it just didn't taste like the fish I was used to. And so eventually I just cut it out as well. And now fish is one of the foods that I get turned off the most from. Like, when I see or smell fish, I'm just like, no, I can't even, which is so strange to me because I love fish, but like physically I'm like turned off from fish. So that's been an interesting development. The same thing has kind of happened to me in eggs. I'm a huge egg person, loved eggs, and when I cut out eggs, I noticed the same thing. Like, the smell of cooked eggs would just turn me off. I didn't have any cravings for eggs anymore, and I wondered, how did I eat this? Now, the interesting thing about eggs is mayonnaise. Oh, mayonnaise. At first, I kind of forgot that mayonnaise had eggs in it, and a lot of times I bet you in this year and a half, sometimes it just kind of slips in. Mayonnaise slips in a lot under the radar in sandwiches, because a lot of times when I'm on the road, I gotta eat a sandwich, and the vegetarian option, if it doesn't have cheese, sometimes sneakily has mayonnaise, or it has mayonnaise and other options. I don't know, people like to use mayonnaise for stuff, but mayonnaise is not vegan. That's one of the things that I've kind of had issues with, is not making sure there's no mayonnaise and stuff. Meat, so in terms of all meat, I'm talking chicken, pork, beef, all of it. As soon as I cut it out, after a couple weeks, I lost all craving for meat. I have no desire to eat meat. Now, I'm not turned off by meat like I am with fish and eggs now. Like, the smell of meat doesn't turn me off. The look is not appealing to me. Like, I don't really, I see meat and I'm just not like, oh my God, that looks so good. But I'm not like turned off by it. But I've had zero cravings for meat. Zero cravings for meat. I don't miss it at all. I'm not like eating dinner and being like, damn, I wish this was chicken in here, or this would be so much better if there was beef, or oh, I wish I could have beef, or I wish I could be having that steak. It's really interesting because yeah, you don't miss these foods. I don't know, like I just have no miss for it. I don't crave it, I don't miss it. I don't even like, it's just kind of one of those things that I'm like, oh, they're having meat. I'm gonna have my veggie option and my vegan option, and it's gonna be so good, and I'm super excited to eat that. Now, dairy, side note, I've been lactose intolerant since I was 16, 17. So I've never really been able to have dairy. There are pills that I can take, which I have done in the past, that allow me, they're like lactate pills that allow me to have dairy so my body can digest it. But I've always craved dairy. I don't know what it is about dairy, but there's certain types of dairy, like yogurt. Oh, I miss yogurt. That I really miss yogurts, and like things like cottage cheese, which I really like cottage cheese. Cheeses, just cheese in general. Like I use a lot of like fake cheese when I'm at home. So I cook with fake cheese because I just miss that creamy, cheesy flavor so much. And it's the one thing that throughout my whole 18 months of being vegan, I just can't shake. The texture and the taste and the creaminess of cheeses and dairy products, excluding milk. I'm not a huge fan of milk or creamy items, and I've never really been like a creamy, like a cream sauce doesn't really appeal to me, or like a cup of milk or milk in any sort of beverage, like a coffee or something. I don't really care for any of that. I love almond milk, I love soy milk. So to me, they're perfectly suitable alternatives. But cheese. Dairy has been the tough one. Dairy's always been the tough one. And dairy is in everything. Oh my goodness. Dairy is in everything. It just sneaks in, and it's in places that you wouldn't even believe it's in, like potato chips. So you know that a whole bunch of potato chips have dairy in it? Yeah, flavors that don't, like, I'm not just talking about like the cheese flavors, because cheese flavor, but I'm talking things like dill pickle, salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar. Why would salt and vinegar have dairy product? Salsa, tomato flavor. Yeah, that's because milk powder is actually a sweetener that they use instead of like sugar. It's another type of sugar that they use on chips. So it's everywhere. It is literally everywhere. I really do love this lifestyle. I love eating vegan. I love being vegan. I mean, to me, the good way outweighs the bad. And it's like anything. If you want to go, if you want to do it, commit 100%, go cold turkey, cut it all out, and just try and get through the first like month, 2 months. Because once you get past that point, it's really not that hard. It's really not as difficult as you think it is. So yeah, that's kind of been my experiences being a vegan and my journey so far. I'm very curious to see if there are any other vegans, like what your guys' experiences have been, and if you cut anything out of your diet for like allergy reasons, let me know down below in the comments. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and go follow me on Instagram for some awesome pretty photos. Okay,